have Sherry's really OG gold watch here as my timepiece to make sure we don't go over. So I had asked, first of all, I'm just so thrilled to be able to be in conversation with all three of you. And I had asked the panelists to come prepared to begin our conversation by talking a little bit about their connection to this neighborhood. I think one of the things that I've been noticing over the past 10 years or so, the way that Boyle Heights has been talked about in the Jewish community, in the LA Times, among Chicanos and activists currently in the neighborhood, is that there's so many different versions of what Boyle Heights is. A real place, a mythical place, an imaginary place, a place that's thriving, a place that's failing. The narratives are all over the map. So I was hoping that we could just get a sense where everybody's coming from in terms of what types of Boyle Heights you're connected to. Maybe Lou, we want to start with you.
My family came out from Chicago when I was 18 months old. We lived pretty much in 4 or 5 different places in Boyle Heights. I went to Evergreen Grammar School, I went to Reed Street Grammar School, I went to Sheridan Street Grammar. We're always looking to get another half room for my sister and I. Eventually we moved to Cornwall Street and Sheridan, where I spent most of my grammar school life before going to Hollenbeck and Ambroseville. What I learned in Boyle Heights was probably the most that has helped me throughout my career growing up all of it, is how to get along with anybody. And multicultural people, nothing surprises me. The basketball team that I played on, there was a Russian kid by the name of Mickey Novikov, Gordo Herrera, my dear friend until recently passed away, a Japanese fella, a black kid named Ray Harris, and a Jew. So that was the neighborhood. And it's just something that when you're from Boyle Heights and you say Boyle Heights and you say Roosevelt in a group, you get a different kind of attention. And it has served me throughout my life until now.
Fantastic, thank you. Martha?
Well, I grew up on the arena in Beswick. My parents are from Guadalajara, Jalisco, and they migrated here years before. We lived on Beswick for many years, most of my life. I'm from 3rd grade to all the way into junior college, and around college we moved away, but the natural progression east, Montebello, Pico Rivera. But for many years the Boyle Heights that I knew was very musical, especially every weekend. We'd go to Plaza Olvera, to the church, to the cathedral there, and then we'd go to sometimes eat there or go to El Mercadito, which is on 1st Street. My father entered my brother into a music life there, the contest on KW Radio 13 that used to promote out of there. And then we started participating in the music scene, mariachi music scene that would go through $1 Million Theater. It's like, the Boyle Heights that I knew was very Mexican, very Mexicano, Chicano, but also Japanese. There were still a lot of Japanese people in the neighborhood. One such artist is very young student that I went to 5th and 6th grade with was Kazo. He's a very prominent Japanese artist now. And, so art, music. I was just telling Susan that my 5th and 6th grade teacher was a Greek woman who taught us everything we needed to know about folklorico. She had a folklorico group, a musical theater group coming out of Marina Street School, and it was just a musical place, always.
Well, I am not from here. I'm a very adventurous person, and I've lived all over the U.S., Oregon, South Carolina, Michigan, Illinois, Wisconsin, a lot of places. And I needed a new job. I was teaching university in Indiana. Knew I wasn't going to go for tenure there, and I decided to apply for high school jobs and saw Teach LA on the website of EdJoin or something, and I said, okay, I will. So I said, that sounds fun. I had been out here to the number 47 for a conducting workshop a few years before, and I enjoyed LA, and I said, yeah, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna live in Hollywood, and I'm gonna teach music. So I was hired over the phone, and I showed up at Roosevelt High School when there were still 5,000 students there in 2008, July 1st, right when Mayor Villaraigosa started the takeover of the schools. And I walked in at lunchtime to a sea of thousands of heads of black hair. And I had come from Indiana. And I said, yeah, this feels good. I felt immediately at home at Roosevelt, and we just connected right away. And I know it was because of music. And as soon as I started teaching, my kids were more invigorating. They were more enthusiastic. They were, you know, more than anything that I had at the college level. And I taught. I don't even play the guitar, but I was teaching guitar, and you know, figuring it out as I went. And I had a string class, a band class, piano class. At Roosevelt, there's a classroom with 16 pianos in it. Talk about low G, you know. It would be nice to have an electronic keyboard lab, but they don't. They have 16 pianos in a room. And I taught piano there in that room for 4 years. And when my position was cut at Roosevelt, they asked me to teach at Hollenbeck. And that's what I've been doing since then. And in the process of losing my Roosevelt position, I decided that because I wasn't doing marching band anymore, I had all this time on my hands, and I'd start a youth orchestra. So I had been working with the LA Philharmonic, learning how to do an LC Stemma orchestra, going to the trainings that they were doing since Dudamel was hired. One of the reasons I was drawn to LA because I had seen the 60 Minutes spot with Dudamel from my living room in Indiana, and I said, okay, that guy has got it going on, and LA has got it going on because it's going to do this here in this country. And so I came out and I learned. I went every month for 4 years. And when I lost the marching band position in March, and by April we had started the plans for the orchestra, and in June I had 65 kids show up at Roosevelt High School ready for lessons, and that's what we've been doing.